Hi everyone. Wanted to share something that I encountered, someone I spoke to. Um, thought that it was interesting for myself. Thought maybe I'd share it on my YouTube. Um, it's a friend of mine. He's a poet, and he wrote a poem about his challenges in prayer and how he wasn't successful and how he gets to praying and he doesn't have any energy and he doesn't know what he's doing and he feels down on himself and then he says, okay, let me make myself a coffee, and he makes himself a coffee and at least gives him a little bit of energy, and on and on and on, and it was very down. Basically, he says that at the end of the day, hopefully I'll have the energy to pray, that I'll pray, like almost like just to get started where he's trying to go. Obviously, he's trying to pray and he's not succeeding. And so I contacted him and I said to him, "Listen, can you tell me why you did that? Why did you send that poem?" And I think it even went into a newspaper. And he told me, I said, "What were you planning that the outcome would be for the people who are listening to it, who are reading it?" And he told me that according to I guess the teachers who teach from the school of ethics, of Musar, of personal work, personal correction, they teach that by knowing the problem, then you're already almost halfway there. That's what he told me. So I thought about it and I said, you know what, like, especially when you're giving something over, and hopefully when I'm giving over, I'll have find chain on the people, find the merit in the people who are listening. When you're giving something over, you have to make sure that the message that you're giving over is very clear to people who are listening to it. And I said to him, you know, let me just tell you something. Maybe you're interested, maybe you're not. From the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov, that you have three categories, you have these three terms from the Baal Shem Tov. It's called Hachna, Havdalah, and Hamtaka. It's like the three principles of the Baal Shem Tov, of how anything ever changes according to the Baal Shem Tov. Any process that ever happens goes through these three principles. The first stage is Hachna, that you realize how big of a task it is, how incredible it is, and how hard it is to succeed in what you're doing. So I said to him, this is the first stage. The first stage is that you say, "Wow, how can I do this? Look at me. I have all my struggles, all my challenges, and who am I to daven, to pray before God? And I don't, I'm so busy thinking about myself and what my needs are, and I'm not even thinking about what God wants from me, and on and on and on and on. You could do it all day and all night, but still, it's not enough to stop there, to only stop by how low you are, how far you are, how distant you are. But at the same time, it is true that you need to start with how distant, because if you think you're all there, then you don't do anything. You don't actually go anywhere. You're always there, and if you're always there, then you don't need to go anywhere. So by starting and realizing that I have so far to go and I have so much to do, and I didn't even start, right? That's the way you could actually start. If you don't have that original, you know, um, feeling of, I guess, trepidation before you go into something, then you don't even deserve to be there. If you feel like you deserve, then you don't deserve. So you have to come from this place that I don't deserve anything. I don't have any right. You know. So that's the first stage of, it's called hachna, which is like a certain submissiveness, a certain lowliness of really knowing your place, your real place. And the next stage is the stage of havdalah, which is differentiating between what I can do and what I can't do. Okay, fine. I'm a low life. I'm the lowest. There's no one who's ever been worse than me. But I can pray, and I can come close to God. How? Like they say from the Baal Shem Tov, they say, if you don't know, if you even know how to say the aleph beis, just to say the word aleph and beis and gimel, if that's all you could do, then you could do that. I had a friend, Zochot, I had a teacher. His name was Rav Avram Moshe Kraus. And he would tell people that when someone comes to him and say, I can't study, I can't focus, I can't learn, I can't daven. He said, could you say Aleph Beis? So say Aleph Beis. Say Aleph Beis. Say Aleph Beis Gimel Dalet. Say the Aleph Beis. And if you know could do more, then say the names of the Parsha of Shavua, the weekly Torah portion, Bereshit, Shemos. Just anything you could do, you could do. Not to say it's too big for me, I can't do it, and therefore not to do anything at all. But whatever you could do, to actually go and do that. So that's the Havdalah. What can I do? What can I do in this situation? What can I do? What can I do? And then the third stage is already called Hamtaka. That's the sweetening. When everything is seen as good. When everything in the entire process turns into good. So I told this friend of mine, I said to him, you're telling me the situation where you are trying to connect to God and it's not working for you. And you're so far low and distant and it's not going well. So I said, when you're like almost spatially, when you're trying to connect to God, it's you over here, God is far away. And the bridge is broken. So that's the picture. So at least, move on. Don't stop there. Don't tell me that the bridge is broken. What does work? What does work? Okay, so you know what? But I want to pray. Psst, very good. What else do you want to do? If I can't pray, so at least I could read the words. At least I could sit quietly for a few minutes at the beginning, at the end of prayer, and to think, something small. What can I do? What can I do? Fine, I know that I can't do anything. No, it's not. I'm not coming as the owner of the house coming to take over, and my soul is gonna ascend to heaven like Eliyahu Hanavi the prophet with a chariot of fire. No, I'm gonna do my thing, and it's not gonna be so perfect. But what can I do? Maybe there's something I could do. What can I do? And that shows that there is a connection. No matter how small, there is a connection. I can go from point A to point B, to go from where I am, disconnected, so to speak, to connect to God. And at the end of the day, when I do show that I can connect, when I do have that ability to cross that barrier and to connect to God, even with the smallest thing, it's very different than where I started in the level of hachna, like the lowliness of self. Now all of a sudden, I connected. So once I connect, then I can go to this place that really encompasses the entire story. That I started off in a situation where I feel, I realized, I looked at my life as if I was far away from God. But then I found one point where I was able to cross that bridge with that one token, one idea, one good point, and go to the other side and show that I can connect to God. And then at the end, the sweetness is to show that once you really taste the sweetness of closeness to God, you know that there was never ever a time in your life that you were far from God. So at that point, even the negative, even the difficulty turns to sweetness. That at that point you look at the situation, you looked at how, wow, I thought that I was far, and it only made me realize more how close I am to God. How by going through this process, you're given the ability to fill all of the reality with sweetness. But you can't just jump to the end. You can't just expect, okay, let me just experience God's goodness, because you know what? Our soul is engineered in such a way, in such a smart way, godly, infinitely intelligent and godly, that we need to work. We need to realize that it doesn't come for free, and we have to struggle to get where we need to get. We have to feel like we really earned it. Because if we don't feel like we earned it and we just got it for free, it's not really ours. But when we come to the situation, we realize that we're not able to do it on our own. That's already a big part of the job. That we say, God, I can't do it on my own. I need to realize that I can only do the little bit I can, only with your help, only through going through this process of submission, of this lowliness, and then coming to a place of, okay, but what can I do for God? What can I do to make this relationship happen? And then at the end, you come to this place where you see that every single thing in the world is godly. Every single thing, every single thought, every single leaf that falls, like the Baal Shem Tov says, every single thing that ever happens in the world is all a part of God's oneness. And we can only realize that when we go through the whole process. We can't jump to any step. We can't jump to any steps only if by following the stages and by having this deep belief that at the end of the day there will be sweetness, that everything does come from a good place and everything is going to that good place. And when we encounter a challenge, we know how to go through it. We don't just get stuck in a challenge and keep on going lower and lower and lower and saying, "Oh, I'm such like this and this and this and that." No, no. You realize the challenge. You realize that you don't have the ability to navigate yourself out of it. You don't realize that it's big, and you say, I can't do everything. But what can I do? I could say Aleph Beis. I could say a parak of Tehillim. I could read a few letters in this book. I don't know if I can understand it, but I could study. I could do a good deed. I could do something. That way, a person is able to, be almost a solution finder, to look for solutions, to look for a way to connect. And once a person's looking, they'll find. And when you'll find that there's a lot to find. That God is everywhere. So by finding God a little bit, it gives us the ability to find God in every single thing, and then at the end, to find God in ourselves. So I hope this was a helpful idea, and looking forward to sharing more ideas on the YouTube channel. So, Gemar Chasima Tova, and wishing you all the best.